forgot what I was going to say. Another continuing the Bible series, of course, Book of Exodus. So we're gonna let some more people come in before I actually start off where we left off yesterday. So while people start coming in, I'm gonna just roll up. There's everybody. There's everybody. There's nobody. I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in before I start the book. But seems to me it may be one of those days where it's just me and a couple more other people. So I guess I can just start it now.
And 6 curtains by themselves, and shalt double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain that is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle. And a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent, it shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering above of badger's skins. And thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on the south side southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, there shall be 20 boards. And there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward thou shalt make 6 boards, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle, for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. Thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars. And thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof which was showed thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine-twined linen of cunning work. With cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And thou shalt set the table without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south.
Hey,
And thou
I'm
shalt
rolling up
put
now.
the table on the north side. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And their hooks shall be of gold, and thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Chapter 27. And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his fleshhooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass. And upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And a stave shall be put into the rings, and the stave shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was showed thee in the mount, so shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side southward there shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side. And the 20 pillars thereof and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side eastward shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass.
Why does
The
all
length
this
of the
matter
court
right
shall be
now?
100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations on the behalf of the children of Israel. Chapter 28. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. They shall have 2 shoulder pieces thereof, joined at the edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the curious girdle of the ephod which is upon it shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone, according to their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shalt thou engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in ouches of gold. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of gold. Of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. And thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod thou shalt make it, of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shalt thou make it. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set in it settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a ligure, agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be, according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shalt put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And the other 2 ends, the 2 wreathen chains, shalt thou fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And thou shalt make 2 rings of gold, and thou shalt put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate, and the border thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And 2 other rings of gold thou shalt make, and shalt put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart
Why
thereof,
is all
over
of
against
this
the other coupling
even in the
thereof,
Bible? What
above
does
the
it mean? What does it matter that it got? Why is all this in there? It's pointless information. Like if it's the Bible where it's supposed to be teaching people to guide them to a certain place in the afterlife, why is it talking about building an altar how God wants it to be? Once again, we already know this God is not the God of all humans. He's not the God of everything. He's just the God of the Hebrew Israelites. So I think he kind of lied in the beginning when he said he created the heavens and the earth, because then why is there people like the Egyptians and certain people that's he doesn't claim? He don't claim them. They got other gods. So why do they got other gods if he's the creator of all? So
curious girdle of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof under the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he goeth into the holy place for a memorial before the Lord continually. And thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim. And they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all of blue. And there shall be an hole in the top of it, in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the hole of it, as it were the hole of an habergeon, that it be not rent. And beneath upon the hem of it thou shalt make pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about, a golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth in unto the holy place before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he die not. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, and grave upon it, like the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. And thou shalt put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the mitre, upon the forefront of the mitre it shall be. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Israel shall hallow in all their holy gifts. And it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. And thou shalt embroider the coat of fine linen, and thou shalt make the mitre of fine linen, and thou shalt make the girdle of needlework. And for Aaron's sons thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles, and bonnets shalt thou make for them, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons, when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him.
Why isn't Aaron so much talked about like Moses is talked about? Seems like Aaron is the pastor. God wanted him to be the pastor or the minister. Like, so why isn't Aaron's talked about as much as Moses? Moses the one who really didn't want to do it. It's like that's why Aaron came along, because Moses like, oh, I got a speech problem. I can't talk. Like, why isn't Aaron more recognized than Moses? And like, why does all of this matter? What's been talked about since we started this for the past 15 minutes? What has been the point of this? What is it need to be in the Bible for? There's too many extra stuff that don't need to be in here, that need to be replaced by things that can change somebody's life, can benefit them. But right now, this is just like extra nonsense.
Chapter 29. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take 1 young bullock, and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread, and cakes unleavened tempered with oil, and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil. Of wheaten flour shalt thou make them. And thou shalt put them into 1 basket, and bring them in the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shalt wash them with water. And thou shalt take the garments, and put upon Aaron the coat, and the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the curious girdle of the ephod. And thou shalt put the mitre upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mitre. Then shalt thou take anointing oil, and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. And thou shalt bring his sons, and put coats upon them. And thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, and thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons. And thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord, by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock, and his skin, and his dung, shalt thou burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. Thou shalt also take one ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood, and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. And thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him and his legs, and put them unto his pieces, and unto his head. And thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord. It is a sweet savor, and offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about.
You never said where you was from.
That is upon the altar,
Sniffer.
And of the anointing.
Born Sniffer always talking about my weed, but he never said where he from. Like, if you tell me where you from, I'ma know if you blowing Reggie, or if you able to get access. Don't try to say you from LA. Where you from? For real. And then I'ma really know. Cause if weed ain't legal in your state, you blowing Reggie. You don't know what the fuck you smoking, honestly. No matter what your weed man sell you, if your weed ain't legal in the state, you might as well be buying Reggie. So let me know, Blowing Sniffer, where you from?
Oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron and upon his garments.
And you ain't like the video when you came in.
And
so
upon the
make sure you hit
garments
that like
of his
button.
sons with him. And he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Also thou shalt take of the ram the fat, and the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon
Still ain't telling me where you
right
from.
shoulder.
you dancing around that question, and you saying rookie. You're like, how old is you? Come on, like let's be clear. How old is you? You may think I'm young. I look young. Nah, how old is you? I've probably been smoking way before you. And you just like to mention Reggie. That's the only way you come in. You don't come in with no type of respect. Hey, what's up? None. It's always the same line. So you saying rookie? Pretty sure I could outsmoke you. Pretty sure I done smoked more weed than you over my lifetime. Even within this whole, since you've been popping up on my live, I probably done outsmoked you, smoked more times you done smoked. So yeah, you might grow your own, but shit, I done grew my own before too. Come on, man. See, he avoiding. He probably live in a place like motherfucking Indiana, where shit ain't fucking legal. You can't even grow shit out there. Portland, you from Portland, Seattle, Oklahoma. Tell me you stop when I name your state. New York, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Yes, you do. I know you do. Stop trying to cap. You do live in America. Because you wouldn't even be talking about Reggie if you didn't live in America. So I know you do. Tell me, where you from then? Like, what country you from? What continent you from? If you're not from America then, where you from? Because if I'm not mistaken, I've been out the country a few times. They don't give a fuck about what type of weed you smoke. So, Blowing Sniffer, I'm putting him on the spotlight. He don't really want to say. He from probably some fucking town nobody ever heard of and shit. Come on. Montana, he from Montana, Utah. Where you from, Blowing Sniffer? You from Nevada. Yeah, alright. Then if you from Nevada, then you know, I ain't just blowing this Reggie. Why would I go to the dispensary and spend like $25 on weed that just ain't worth it. I used to do that in my broke days. I ain't broke no more. I told you y'all, this is my brother. Or, nah, he's somebody who knows of my brother, so he's just saying he lives in Henderson because that's where my brother lives. But once again, this may be one of my brother's fake accounts, so. And if it is, go ahead and give me that Tesla. My brother just bought a white Tesla. He thought it was a Model X, but it ended up being a Model Y. He don't really like it, but Tesla's is my favorite car, so he might as well just give me that. Lucky, why not? He a legend in these streets. I mean, yeah. When you live your purpose and you do what you did, you come from where we come from, and you overcome the odds, the statistics, you'll forever be a legend. Just watch what I do, though. Like, just watch what I do. He was the one who took it that far. I'm the one who passes it. Like, not to say I'm gonna be bigger than my brother on YouTube or nothing, but just like me with my mindset, I got to see him do it, so I know the things that he failed at. I know the things he did wrong. Like I've been able to get a first class seat of like just watching my brother and learning and getting lessons, and he didn't even know I was just watching and like paying attention. So I get to always take it further than him because he's the one who got to face all the bullshit that he don't know about. Portland's finest. Hey, I mentioned Portland too. Hey, shout out to you, Slim. I wanted to buy a house out there. I ain't even gonna lie. Probably will in the future. I will buy a house in Portland, but not or probably not just Portland, but somewhere in Oregon. I fuck with Portland though, cause I'm a rain person. I love rain, and even though I live in Vegas, it barely rain out here. Yeah, but mark my words, I'm gonna take it further than my brother. I already know, cause he already done gave me the blueprint. He already done gave me the secret. So he gonna probably be a bigger YouTuber, of course, probably have a bigger online following than me. But like when it's all said and done, watch what your boy create. And that's that whole brother rivalry thing. Cause if you ain't got no brothers that's fucking like motivating you to do better, like shit, he's my little brother motivate me, like to like just work extra hard. So my whole goal is to like just do what I'm doing, double down on that shit. Just put the music down. Hey, you already know I'm smoking. And I ain't gonna put this down. Not in Portland, too much gun violence. Dang, there's gun violence like that in Portland? I didn't think it was like that. But I'm a person like shit. In different parts of Vegas, it's a lot of it can get violent. But overall, I'm a positive individual, so like I just stick to like positive areas, like so. But I want to go out there like Portland. They weed way cheaper than Vegas, Cali, Colorado. Those are places I usually go for weed. Mainly out here because I live here. Then second stop is fucking Cali. I get like to get my shit from there. And Colorado. How we talking about weed in this? We listening to the Bible. Blowing snap. Every time you come in here, you change. But I ain't even gonna lie. This part we've been listening to for like the past 20 minutes, it's been all like nothing. It's wasted hearing. It doesn't. It's not helping nobody. It's not. But who you say? But yeah, exactly. Like so, I know God put weed on here for us. Shit. Alcohol is was been mixed together and created and like it's been fucking people up. Like that's the truth. They motherfuckers don't need to do. Shit. We ain't never killed nobody. We ain't never hurt nobody. Probably made some motherfuckers hallucinate or some shit. But for me, it's all been beneficial. Like I got PTSD from the Marines, so I gotta smoke, and not just from the Marines, just from growing up and seeing shit. What motherfuckers had to heal from that trauma.
for it is a ram of consecration, and 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Lord. And thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron, and in the hands of his sons, and shalt wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And thou shalt receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savour before the Lord. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before the Lord, and it shall be thy part. And thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Israel. For it is an heave offering, and it shall be an heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto the Lord. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein, and to be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days when he cometh into the tabernacle of the congregation to minister in the holy place. And thou shalt take the ram of the consecration, and seethe his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh of the consecrations, or of the bread remain unto the morning, then thou shalt burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus shalt thou do unto Aaron, and to his sons, according to all things which I have commanded thee. 7 days shalt thou consecrate them. And thou shalt offer every day a bullock for a sin offering for atonement. And thou shalt cleanse the altar when thou hast made an atonement for it, and thou shalt anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days thou shalt make an atonement for the altar, and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever toucheth the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the altar, 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. The 1 lamb thou shalt offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. And with the 1 lamb...
Like, if you a God of all, creator of all, why you need motherfuckers to serve you and worship you and sacrifice shit for you, show their loyalty to you? If you the creator of this motherfucker, it wouldn't even matter. Like, I wouldn't even give a fuck if they served me, because my whole thing is to put them down here as an experiment, see how this shit go. See if motherfuckers gonna choose right or wrong, whatever the fuck they choose. Oh well, I'm gonna keep making their ass repeat this motherfucker until they get it right. Like, you got motherfuckers doing all this extra shit just to show their loyalty. Like, well, I guess.
A 10th deal of flour mingled with the 4th part of an hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of an hin of wine for a drink offering. And the other lamb thou shalt offer at even, and shalt do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savour, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. There shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, where I will meet you to speak there unto thee. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar. I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will be their God. And they shall...
Why is Aaron ministering to God? Like, why is that? Why he doing that? Well, like, what is he talking? What is he ministering?
will know that I am the Lord their God, that brought them forth out of the land of Egypt,
Once again,
that
he
I
gonna
may
keep telling
dwell
people what
among
he
them.
did for him. Like, hey,
I
remember I got you out of
am
Egypt,
the
right?
Lord their God.
But they don't even know it was their ancestors. The Israelites don't know it was their ancestors who led them to Egypt. And you know who was leading their ancestors into Egypt? It was the same God. So yeah, he telling them, remember, I saved you from Egypt. But at the same time, you're not telling them how they even got there. They don't even know how they ended up in Egypt. Because I'm pretty sure Israel didn't tell them that dream he had. He just did what God said, and that was it. Like so, God saving them from the things He created for them to like suffer from and like be saved from. So strategic, but at the same time, like I don't know, I probably would have did things a little different.
Chapter 30. And thou shalt make an altar to burn incense upon. Of shittim wood shalt thou make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 square shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof. The horns thereof shall be of the same. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, the top thereof, and the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof. And thou shalt make unto it a crown of gold round about. And 2 golden rings shalt thou make to it under the crown of it. By the 2 corners thereof, upon the 2 sides of it shalt thou make it. And they shall be for places for the staves to bear it withal. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put it before the veil,
He
that is
love
by
him
the
some
ark of the
gold, don't he?
testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresseth the lamps, he shall burn incense.
First of all, Aaron never met God, right? And God is basically telling Moses, give Aaron all these fucking jobs to worship me. So you gotta minister, you gotta dress a certain way, you gotta burn offering, burn food, you gotta burn incense every single day. Like Aaron don't know if like who who God is. Yeah, he seen Moses do what he did and like yeah that magical shit, but the Egyptians was doing the same thing God was telling Moses to do, except when he killed the first sons or the first child. So at the same time, Aaron ain't never talked to God himself though. Like so he didn't see that burning bush. So how like these is all like some blind followers basically. It's only like one person or out this whole time God probably only talked to like less than 10 people. But yeah, he got thousands of people who believe in him, thousands of followers or like but ain't nobody else had a personal relationship with God except for a couple of people. And so, how could you serve something you don't really know that like you don't really have your own personal relationship with? Yeah, you may think God saved you from some shit in your life, or Jesus saved you or blessed you with something, but at the same time, you don't understand if you put good out, good is gonna come back. You put bad out, bad is gonna come back. So the things you think are blessings are only like good deeds you did into the universe where you was repaid that. Like why you? Can't say. Like some people you'll say, damn, why they got this though, and they're a bad person. But at the same time, you don't know what that person did in a past life to get to where they got, to get what they got. So it's certain reasons why everything is exactly the way it is. So you understanding that? I'm just questioning this book just for the fun of it. It's not like I'm really taking it serious. It's just like another book, but it got millions of followers. Millions of people believe like this is the one true book. Like this is the one true religion. When I know for sure like that may not be the case because he's only the God of the Hebrew Israelites. And the Hebrew Israelites I've came across are all black. They hate white people and they treat their women like shit. I ain't gonna say all of them, but the ones I came across, like, they're kind of assholes. So I'm like, I get it because they're God. From the beginning, God is like, hey, I run the show. Do what I say. If you don't, you can suffer, or we can wipe you out. I place curses on people, or I can bless you. So look what the type of people you deal with when you see his followers. Like they don't be good people. The only good person I know was Jesus, but he wasn't Christian. And he damn sure wasn't following with every. It never said God came to Jesus and talked to him about anything. Ain't that crazy? Like, I mean, I may be forgetting something, like, but in the Bible, does God have a conversation with Jesus? Like, God has a conversation with Moses and all the people in the early days? Like, I know Jesus talked to the devil, Lucifer, but I think he just knew who God was. Like, he just knew. Like, he knew his purpose. He knew his mission was. He wasn't programmed or brainwashed by the society that was around that time that was making people slaves and followers. So, but I don't think he had his own personal, like, I don't think there was a dialogue between God and Jesus in the Bible. I might have to do my own research on that, but I wonder why.
Upon it. And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before the Lord throughout your generations. You shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifice, nor meat offering, neither shall ye pour drink offering thereon. And Aaron shall make an atonement on the horns of it once in a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in the year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, When thou takest the sum of the children of Israel after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto the Lord, when thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them when thou numberest them. This they shall give every one that passeth among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary, a shekel is 20 gerahs, and half shekel shall be the offering of the Lord. Every one that passeth among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto the Lord. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when they give an offering unto the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls. And thou shalt take the atonement money of the children of Israel, and shalt appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Israel before the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Thou shalt also make a laver of brass, and his foot also of brass, to wash withal. And thou shalt put it between the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and thou shalt put water therein. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat. When they go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not, or when they come near to the altar to minister to burn offering made by fire unto the Lord. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not. And it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations. Moreover the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon half so much, even 200.
Alright, so I researched it and see, like, did God talk to Jesus in the Bible, and like he never had a direct conversation with God. And that was supposed to be his father. But yet he had conversations with people in like Genesis and like Moses and stuff like. So why did he stop talking to people? Why did he stop showing himself? Why didn't he even like talk to his own son? Yeah, Jesus prayed to God, but he didn't. God didn't talk to Jesus. Why did the devil talk to God? I mean, why did the devil have a conversation with Jesus? Was it because Jesus was God? He returned as God Himself, and like, hey, I'm gonna do this human experience and show people the true way. Like, is that why he didn't have a conversation with God? That's, I mean, that'd be my own thing. That's the only thing that's
150
coming to my mind.
shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels, and of cassia 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil olive an hin. And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment, an ointment compound, after the art of the apothecary. It shall be an holy anointing oil. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony, and the table, and all his vessels, and the candlestick, and his vessels, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering with all his vessels, and the laver and his foot. And thou shalt sanctify them, that they may be most holy. Whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Keep
And
repeating
thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying,
Keep repeating the same shit.
flowing with milk and honey. For I will not go up in the midst of thee, for thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way. And when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. For the Lord had said unto Moses, Say unto the children of Israel, Ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of thee in a moment and consume thee. Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that every one which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. And it came to pass, when Moses went out into the tabernacle, that all the people rose up and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended, and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door.
So they seen the
And the
cloudy
Lord spake
pillar,
unto Moses,
and they assumed it was God, but they didn't see him in the flesh. He just appeared in like a cloudy way.
face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And
So
he
he's-
turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people, and thou hast not let me.
My bad, that should be kind of paused. Because I need to charge my phone. So I don't even know how long it was tripping for. But to understand, it says God talked to Moses face to face, like he was right in front of him. So it's saying, like, actually Moses did see God. Or he probably didn't say, I mean, it didn't say in the flesh, but it's saying like he was face to face, as in like a friend talking to another friend, like so. But why didn't God do that to Jesus? Why was Jesus faced with the devil instead of God?
Shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the
So
Lord...
he didn't see his face. So he probably appeared as like dust, saying, But why is that the case? Why can't a man see God's face? What do you have to hide? It's probably something like that's not a human. It's look crazy. People wouldn't even want to see God. They'd be trying to kill it. And he came down because obviously, if you look at him, you would die anyway. So it's probably some out of this world type of shit that we ain't never imagined or seen. Even though he said, "Make man in our likeness," he destroyed man a few times. So he probably started over like with some different type of people.
The Lord said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cleft of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. Chapter 34. And the Lord said unto Moses, Hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount. Neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount. And he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and Moses rose up early in the morning, and went up unto Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tables.
Yo, tell me why an ad just popped up on my Facebook, right? And it says Birthright Israel Summer 2022. Claim your free trip. Like, what are you doing this summer? We're back and you don't want to miss this. Save your seat, 7 to 10 summery days in Israel. Who would want to go to Israel for 7 to 10 days? Me, I ain't that interested. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I ain't Israeli. I don't have that blood. I'm an Egyptian at heart, so honestly, I don't give a fuck what the Israeli. Look what they God did to my people. Nah, but still, overall, God don't want nobody to see his face. He don't even want people to know his true name. He only talking to certain people, a few people. He didn't even talk to his son. That's crazy. I mean, you could tell he was a nigga before. Like, before he became evolved to that level, that conscious level of God, because you got different conscious levels. Just like you got the Christ consciousness, like that's a consciousness level. Just like you got enlightenment, that's a conscious level. Being woke is a conscious level. Like, it's different types of conscious levels. So I feel like he's just evolved to the point of God level where he's created his reality and like he does what he want to do. Like, so it ain't no questioning. Like, I can't even question somebody who's evolved up into that level because he know who he is. Like, if things go his way, it always go how he wanted to go. It always works out in God's favor. He's never lost yet. So, hey, that's what I'm trying to evolve to, that point where I can get on that God level. So, create my own planet or my own people. Just run this motherfucking world.
And the
Run
Lord
another
descended in a cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. The Lord passed by before him, and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children unto the 3rd and to the 4th generation. And Moses made haste, and bowed his head toward the earth, and worshipped. And he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us. For it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. And he said, Behold, I make a covenant. Before all thy people I will do marvels such as have not been done in all the earth nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I will drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest
He
thou make a
makes it
covenant with the
known like I'm
inhabitants.
jealous. Like, if you the creator of, what do you have to be jealous about? What is there to be jealous of? First of all these other guys they say is fake. I mean, you saying they not real. What is the point? Like, why would you be jealous over something that's fake? That's because he's not the only God. There's multiple gods on this motherfucker. Like, he just got his people, he giving them his rules. So this is not the rules for the world. This Bible is not for everybody on this planet. This is for certain people. Like, so me, I just grew up in this was what I was born into, but I evolved out of that. So now, like I said, I got to get my own understanding of like the Bible. And now, like, I don't even have to read this whole book to understand like this ain't for me. Like just for my life and what I should be worshiping and following. Like, I'm just on the outside. Like, I'm truly like white people, how they go and explore different, like in the history. They always explore Egypt. They always like was searching, trying to learn about Egypt, not just Egypt, but Africa in the whole. China, like white people has always been like basically stealing from all of these things and just putting them in museums. So I kind of feel like that myself with just tapping into all different type of religions and like just taking what was best, what works for me, and like what I feel like, oh, that's dope. I can use that for myself in my own journey. Like, so I'm kind of like that with like information or religion. Like, I don't knock them, but I just take what I want from it. Like, just move forward. I can't be sitting stuck in one spot. I have to evolve. I have to keep growing. I gotta feel like I'm growing. I gotta feel like I'm not stuck in the same spot. So
Of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt. All that openeth the matrix is mine,
and that's
and
what I
every
realized
firstling
with God.
among
All
thy
He
cattle.
does is speak, and like He commands, and like His word is His word. So He believes it. So it's gonna be done. He manifests just like that too. Like he's able to. If you seen what's the vampire shows or movies, with any vampire show, like the vampire is able to like speak and make that person do what they say. I can't remember the term, but God is able to do that without looking somebody in the eyes. He just like if you hear His voice, you automatically like just follow it. Like so, He got some power for sure. But like I said, He the God of the Hebrew Israelites. So if you don't consider yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you probably should find your own like believe. Like look at your history, look at your ancestors, and like see what they was tapped into before our like religion and Christianity took over. Like so, everybody's different, not all the same.
Whether ox or sheep that is man. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou redeem him not, then shalt thou break his neck. All the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days shalt thou work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest.
He
In
making them
earing
work
time
6
and in
days out
harvest
the
thou
week.
shalt
Yeah, I thought
rest.
a 9 to
And
5
thou
was
shalt
bad.
observe the feast of
God has
weeks,
said,
of
nah,
the
y'all
first fruits of
motherfuckers
wheat harvest.
serve me 6 days out the week, and then 7 days you get the rest. Like, that ain't something I want to do on, like, until I'm 70, working 6 days out the week, then on the 7th day resting. Even serving and worshiping, like, just doing that all throughout the day, like, I get tired of that. So I always got to be trying something new, doing something new, moving forward. Because I'm a person, like, I feel, if I continue to do something for so long and I'm not seeing nothing, like, working, I'm going to just move forward. I'm not going to stay there. Like, if it's not working out for me, especially if I don't like doing it, I'm easy. Like, most jobs I used to try to get was basically because I wanted the money. I was working for money. Like, so once I started getting more money, I'm like, oh, once I got the job and I would work a few months, and then I would realize, why am I working for this low ass pay? Why do black men show more love to light skin than black women? That's all programming. It's all a programming. For the simple fact, when they were slaves, the light skinned people show favoritism compared to. I see you retracted your message, but too late. White people show favoritism to light skinned, dark skinned people was outside, so it made them like jealousy toward like each other, like being shown favoritism. That happens a lot in the Bible as well. Hold on, my dog trying to go out the door. Yeah, but overall, people want them with a light skin. I have a light skinned wife, honestly, and I also married a dark skinned woman as well. So me, it don't. I'm not. I love all people. I don't judge. But like I said, I'm married to someone who's light skinned. It wasn't because I was like, oh, I don't want to date dark skinned women or be with a dark skinned woman. Either way, my mom is light skinned. My dog is at the door. I should leave his ass out there because I just opened the door. But I ain't about to keep hearing that fucking song.
No, when I started hurt and fighting, I started zapping.
Yo, y'all won't believe what just happened. My dog just started fighting. Luckily, I got up again, opened the door, and walked out there. I got a husky and I got a Pekingese, a big dog, small dog. And shout out to you dancers tonight for coming back through. But literally just had to break up a dog fight.
And the feast of ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before the Lord God, the God of Israel. For I will cast out the nations before thee, and enlarge thy borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land, when thou shalt go up to appear before the Lord thy God thrice in the year. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven. Neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left unto the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land shalt thou bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write thou these words, For after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables the
We
words
didn't
of the
eat
covenant.
bread or drink water, but we can't last without neither for like a certain length. Like, so that's big cap. Or them days is not long as they was back then.
The 10 Commandments. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spake unto the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. And Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him.
Fucked up when he went to see God. Like, God appeared, like, and even though it didn't kill Moses, it fucking must have burnt his face, like, or did something to his face where people were scared as fuck when he came back down. Like, I never got that part.
Chapter 35. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord hath commanded, that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
I don't think they want to work 7 days out
And
the week.
Moses spake unto all the congregation.
They probably were working 7 days out the week in Egypt, so God was like, I'm going to make it a little bit better on y'all. Y'all only got to work 6. So anybody work on that 7 day, you getting killed. Like, but that ain't no, I don't want to work 6 days out the week and then rest. And then, first of all, on the 7th day, you got to worship him. So it ain't like you get the rest.
Congregation of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto the Lord. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it, an offering of the Lord, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram's skins dyed red, and badger's skins and shittim wood, and oil for the light, and spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, and onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate. And every wise-hearted among you shall come, and make all that the Lord hath commanded. The tabernacle, his tent, and his covering, his taches, and his boards, his bars, his pillars, and his sockets, the ark, and the staves thereof, with the mercy seat and the veil of the covering, the table and his staves, and all his vessels, and the showbread, the candlestick also for the light, and his furniture and his lamps with the oil for the light, and the incense altar and his staves, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the door at the entering in of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering with his brazen grate, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars and their sockets, and the hanging for the door of the court, the pins of the tabernacle, and the pins of the court and their cords, the cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons, to minister in the priest's office. And all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from the presence of Moses. And they came, every one whose heart stirred him up, and every one whom his spirit made willing, and they brought the Lord's offering to the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, and for all his service, and for the holy garments. And they came, both men and women, as many as were willing-hearted, and brought bracelets and earrings and rings and tablets, all jewels of gold, and every man that offered an offering of gold
like
unto
Jerry.
the Lord.
Shit.
And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and red skins of rams and badgers' skins brought them. Every one that did offer an offering of silver and brass brought the Lord's offering. And every man with whom was found shittim wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands, and brought that which they had spun, both of blue and of purple and of scarlet and of fine linen. And all the women whose heart stirred them up in wisdom spun goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones and stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate, and spice and oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. And the children of Israel brought a willing offering unto the Lord, every man and woman whose heart made them willing to bring for all manner of work which the Lord had commanded to be made by the hand of Moses. And Moses said unto the children of Israel, See, the Lord hath called by name Bezaleel the son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Judah. And he hath filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in the cutting of stones to set them, and in carving of wood, to make any manner of cunning work. And he hath put in his heart that he may teach both he and Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan. Them hath he filled with wisdom of heart, to work all manner of work of the engraver, and of the cunning workman, and of the embroiderer in blue, and in purple, and scarlet, and in fine linen, and of the weaver, even of them that do any work, and of those that devise cunning work. Chapter 36. Then wrought Bezaleel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom the Lord put wisdom and understanding, to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that the Lord had commanded. And Moses called Bezaleel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whose heart the Lord had put wisdom, even every one whose heart stirred him up to come unto the work to do it. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And all the wise men that wrought all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they made. And they spake unto Moses, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord commanded to make. And Moses gave commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman make any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. So the people were restrained from bringing, for the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. And every wise-hearted man among them that wrought the work of the tabernacle made 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work made he them. The length of one curtain was 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. The curtains were all of one size. And he coupled 5 curtains, one unto another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled one unto another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. Likewise he made in the uttermost side of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops made he in one curtain, and 50 loops made he in the edge of the curtain which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 taches of gold, and coupled the curtains one unto another with attaches, so it became one tabernacle. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains he made them. The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and 4 cubits was the breadth of one curtain. The 11 curtains were of one size. And he coupled 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops upon the uttermost edge of the curtain in the coupling, and 50 loops made he upon the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And he made 50 taches of brass to couple the tent together, that it might be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram's skins dyed red, and a covering of badger's skins above that. And he made boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. The length of a board was 10 cubits, and the breadth of a board.
Can't lie, y'all. Just most of the stuff in the Bible, it be making me get sleepy as fuck. Like, no wonder I would go to sleep in church all the time. Like, this is not... It should be exciting all the way through. Like, I shouldn't give a fuck. It shouldn't be... It was this length and cubic. And like, who cares? Who cares about the jury, the things and stuff that Jews wanted and as offerings? Like, that don't matter. It's supposed to be, how can we evolve up out of here? How can we spiritually get on your level? Like, for real. How come he not teaching nobody to get on his level? That be them people who always, they got the secret, got the money and the power, but they don't want to give nobody the secret. That's the type of person God is. Because he know there's more gods out there. Like, he know you can evolve to the level of God. So, of God consciousness. So, he holding that information back.
1 cubit and a half. One board had 2 tenons, equally distant one from another. Thus did he make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side southward, and 40 sockets of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, which is toward the north corner, he made 20 boards. And there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward he made 6 boards. And 2 boards made he for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they were coupled beneath, and coupled together at the head thereof, to one ring. Thus he did to both of their sockets were 16 sockets of silver under every board, 2 sockets. And he made bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the sides westward. And he made the middle bar to shoot through the boards from the one end to the other. And he made a veil of blue and purple, and 4 sockets of silver. And he made an hanging for the tabernacle door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of needlework, and the 5 pillars of it with their hooks. And he overlaid their chapiters and their fillets with gold, but their 5 sockets were of brass. Chapter 37. And Bezaleel made the ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and a cubit and a half the breadth of it, and a cubit and a half the height of it. And he overlaid it with pure gold within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold to be set by the 4 corners of it, even 2 rings upon the one side of it, and 2 rings upon the other side of it. And he made staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he put the staves into rings by the sides of the ark to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And he made 2 cherubims of gold, beaten out of one piece made he them, on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. 1 cherub on the end on this side, and another cherub on the other end on that side. Out of the mercy seat made he the cherubims on the two ends thereof. And the cherubims spread out their wings on high, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, with their faces one to another. Even to the mercy seatward were the faces of the cherubims. And he made the table of shittim wood. 2 cubits was the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made thereunto a crown of gold round about. Also he made thereunto a border of an hand breadth round about, and made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings upon the 4 corners that were in the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border were the rings, the places for the staves to bear the table. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold to bear the table. And he made the vessels which were upon the table, his dishes, and his spoons, and his bowls, and his covers to cover withal, of pure gold. And he made the candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work made he the candlestick. His shaft and his branch, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers were the same. And 6 branches going out of the sides thereof, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side thereof, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side.
So does that mean like this God is very materialistic, and he likes the center of attention? Sounds like to me.
Thereof. 3 bowls made after the fashion of almonds in one branch, a knot and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knot and a flower. So throughout the 6 branches going out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick were 4 bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same.
You should just repeat it 3 times in a row. I wonder, is it like that in the Bible, or the person who recorded this book fucked up?
According to the 6 branches going out of it, their knops and their branches were of the same. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. And he made his 7 lamps, and his snuffers, and his snuff dishes of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold made he it, and all the vessels thereof. And he made the incense altar of shittim wood. The length of it was a cubit, and the breadth of it a cubit. It was 4 square, and 2 cubits was the height of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold, both the top of it, and the sides thereof round about, and the horns of it. Also he made unto it a crown of gold round about. And he made 2 rings of gold for it under the crown thereof, by the 2 corners of it, upon the 2 sides thereof, to be places for the staves to bear it withal. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil, and the pure incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the apothecary. Chapter 38. And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he
altar is for someone who was here before and transitioned over. So like I said, God had to be on this earth first, and had to live the human experience to be able to make it to the position he's at now. So, because I used to always wonder, like, who created God? Like, where did he originate from? Like, was he just there? Like, I'm like, how long was he just there for? Like, I used to have all these internal questions that nobody had answers for. So now I get the question that sometimes I still don't get the answer, but overall, like, I'll still get some type of understanding.
Laid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans. All the vessels thereof made he of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof beneath unto the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass, to be places for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with brass.
That thumbs up
And he
button
put the
if you
staves into
haven't.
the rings on the sides of the altar, to bear it withal. He made the altar
Subscribe,
hollow
buddy.
with boards.
Really
And he
appreciate
made the
it.
laver of brass, and the foot of it of brass, of the looking glasses of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he made the court. On the south side southward, the hangings of the court were fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side, the hangings were in brass 20, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits. The hangings of the one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and that hand, were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen. And the sockets for the pillars were of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver,
Well, they get
and
all
the
this
overlaying of their
brass
chapiters of
smarties
silver, and all the
stuff
pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework, of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height in the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moses, for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aaron the priest. And Bezaleel the son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue and in purple, and in scarlet and fine linen. All the gold that was occupied for the work, and all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 29 talents, and 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that were numbered of the congregation was 100 talents, and 1,715 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A beka for every man, that is half a shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for every one that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 100 talents of silver were cast the sockets of the sanctuary, and the sockets of the veil, 100 sockets of the 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their chapiters, and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gate, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. Chapter 39. And of the blue and purple and scarlet they made cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it to couple it together. By the two edges was it coupled together. And the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets are graven, with the names of the children of Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was 4 square. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, and agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12, according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work, of pure gold. And they made 2 ouches of gold, and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod, underneath toward the forepart of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings under the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And there was an hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of an habergeon, round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet, and for his sons, and a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a girdle of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, of needlework, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like to the engravings of a signet, Holiness to the Lord. And they tied unto it a lace of blue, to fasten it on high upon the mitre, as the Lord commanded
It ain't been
Moses.
too much to talk about on this,
Thus
this
was all
last,
the
this last leg of this Exodus, because it's been about like pointless shit. Like I could have just skipped past it, but I don't wanna miss something. Like it may be something like I overskip if I like fast forward. So it's only like 7 minutes left, and then it's gonna be an early night. So yeah, definitely y'all hit that like button. But hey, we're gonna finish Exodus, and then tomorrow we're gonna start the Book of Enoch. So I don't think I ever like just read that one just straight through. Hey, somebody getting, hey, whoever hear you, Braden, hey, you getting some game too. But yeah, we
work of the
almost done with
tabernacle, the
Exodus.
tent of the congregation finished.
you know what? I ain't even gonna go through all them fucking books. Can't even lie to you. I'm gonna do the main ones, the important ones. What is that? The book of the gospel. Book, I forgot what they call it. Then the book of Enoch. Then I want to read Revelations. Like so, then we can skip going to the Quran because I've never truly like read that like how I read the Bible. Probably read a few like scriptures or whatever, but I never like tapped in it like I did this one. So, like I said, I know the Bible enough to know like what I need to know about this God.
Finished. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. And they brought the tabernacle
But
unto
basically, they was
Moses, the
listening to
tent and all
Moses.
his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of rams' skins dyed red, and the covering of badgers' skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure candlestick, with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, and the brazen altar, and his grate of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets, and the hanging for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and his sons' garments to minister in the priest's office, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so the children of Israel made all the work. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they
So
had
the
done it as the Lord.
whole time, like this, God wanted them to work 6 days a week, and on the 7th day they rest. So throughout that 6 days a week, they're working on what God wants them to work on, like following His orders and shit. Like literally, God took them out of Egypt as quote unquote slaves, like fixing up Egypt, building up Egypt, so they can build up His shit. Like so, I mean, God using people for like whatever He wanted to be used. So I guess He want an altar, He want food, He want the best of the best, He want gold, amethyst, crystals, like all of that, diamonds. So I guess it's cool for us to have that today. Like if you're a Christian and you like jewelry, I see why, because the Creator likes it. So I do like gold. Like I said, I believe there's multiple gods. There isn't just one. He in the Bible it says there's multiple gods. It's not just one. So people gotta, like I said, understand and find out who's their God, who's their Creator. I just so happen to be a God myself, so I don't have to follow nobody. Literally.
Lord had commanded, even so had they done it, and Moses blessed them. Chapter 40. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. And thou shalt bring in the table, and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. And thou shalt bring in the candlestick, and light the lamps thereof. And thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hanging of the door to the tabernacle. And thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation. And thou shalt set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar, and shalt put water therein. And thou shalt set up the court round about, and hang up the hanging at the court gate. And thou shalt take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is therein, and shalt hallow it, and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. And thou shalt anoint the altar of the burnt offering, and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar, and it shall be an altar most holy. And thou shalt anoint the laver and his foot, and sanctify it. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and wash them with water. And thou shalt put upon Aaron the holy garments, and anoint him, and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt bring his sons, and clothe them with coats.
Alright, this shit
And
been
thou shalt
repeating
anoint
for a
them
minute.
as thou didst anoint their father,
Even though
that they
this is
may
the
minister
last-
unto me in the priest's office.
Last 3 minutes, I've noticed that a lot of this shit has just been repeated. And I'm pretty sure it's like that throughout the whole Bible. A lot of things was just repeated. Like, so I guess that's just how they filled out the pages of the book and made it thick, because a lot of these things that's being said is redundant. Like, it's like a records skipping and just repeating the same shit. So, like I said, if you just read the Genesis, then you read what Mark, Matthew, Acts, and stuff, and then Revelation. Proverbs is a good book. Psalms is a good book. But all the other shit, I don't think it's like it really matters. So I definitely ain't gonna waste my time with that shit.
For their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moses, according to all that the Lord commanded him, so did he. And it came to pass in the first month of the second, and Moses went to the tabernacle, and fastened his sockets, and he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle. And he took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the staves on the ark, and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he put the ark into the tabernacle, and set up the veil of the covering, and covered the ark of the testimony, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he put the table in the tent of the congregation upon the side of the tabernacle northward, without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put the candlestick in the tent of the congregation over against the table on the side of the tabernacle southward. And he lighted the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the congregation before the veil, and he burnt sweet incense thereon, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle, and he put the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the meat offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he set the laver before the tent of the congregation and the altar, and put water therein to wash withal. And Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat, when they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near unto the altar they washed, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation, because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys.
So that's what he did. Like when they built up the altar, he lit it on fire. I guess, but we end up knowing. Like, I mean, we know Moses ended up dying. Like, his body was never like found, or they buried him like somewhere that couldn't be found. But I would always like think like, why is that the case when you got Egyptians that was here before Moses? You can find their bodies, and you can. Why is Jesus? I mean, of course, they said Jesus up and disappeared, but why was Moses' body not being able to find? Why we can't find Noah's body, like cemetery, grave sites, whatever? Like, why is we can't find these people? But also, I understand it wouldn't be the name Noah. It wouldn't be Moses. Those are names that's been Americanized, so we can understand it. Like I'm pretty sure if it's a Hebrew name, I wouldn't know what the fuck to look for. But that was the end of Exodus. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna do the Book of Enoch, and we're gonna just skip through a couple books, see which one. I'm gonna see the ones that got the stories. Like so, I know I want to listen to the Book of David and Goliath. I mean, I said the Book of David and Goliath, but the Book of David, because that talks about the Book of David. I mean, the story of David and Goliath. What else? I want to hear about King Solomon, Saul. Like that's like the stories I want to hear about. I don't want to be hearing about somebody's child and like the ancestors and all they different names and shit and where they was from. That's pointless. So I want to get to why people follow, like what made right now as I done listen to Genesis and Exodus, as me being me, there's nothing that makes me want to follow this religion. Absolutely nothing. Like it's once again like how they was in the Bible, the characters, how they heard a voice and then just followed it. It's like you picked up a book and just started following it. You have no real proof of what you're following. You just follow it. So that's not me. That's not my case. Hope that's not y'all case. Hope y'all was you chose what you wanted to believe in, whether it was Christianity, Nation of Islam, whatever, Catholic, whatever people believe in. Just make sure you choose your belief. Like, don't just be settling for what your parents told you was right. Because most of the times we know our parents are wrong, or people who raised us they wasn't always right. So find your own truth and don't look for something on the outside to like lead you and guide you. The God is on the inside. You are the God. You just gotta wake up. You're still asleep. So that was the end of this live stream. Yeah, it wasn't a long one, but at the same time, we only had like it was repeating itself, so I had to skip forward. Then it still kept repeating itself, so I just figured that was truly the Bible just repeating itself. Like so, yeah. Pretty sure Moses dies in Leviticus, the book of Leviticus. So we not gonna read that book. I don't think it's nothing in there that's too important. Or I mean, it probably is, but I don't know. It's just the Bible's a sleeper. I can't lie. Like, if you ain't reading the right things, like that's gonna catch your mind, like catch your attention. It's a sleeper trying to read that motherfucker all the way through. Like so, I pat myself on the back for like doing 2 books of the Bible. But at the same time, I don't want to make this no religious. This is not no religious channel. Like this is far from religious. So if I was to do the Bible back to back every single day, it'll look like this was church. Like this was a YouTube church channel. So I don't want that to be the case. Like I said, we are gonna listen to the Book of Enoch though, and I do want to listen to Revelations. So we're gonna start getting back to other books that people want to enjoy as well. So, I mean, not just enjoy, but like other people want to just listen to. Because I know it's a lot of people who's not religious and they don't even want to. They wouldn't even click on this video because it said the Bible. So, me, I'm not doing this for what other people want. I'm doing this for myself. I want to get my own understanding. And what I've been doing has been working out for me and my channel. So, I tell people all the time, if you want to grow your channel, for one, post shorts, every single day. I post at least like 6 videos a day. Sometimes the lowest I probably post is like 2 videos a day. But for like the past 90 days, I've been posting at least twice. But the most I probably posted in a day was probably like 16 shorts. Then I hop on live, but like I get on live every single day to build my watch time hours up because shorts don't help you get monetized. You will get paid, but even when you start getting paid, the shorts don't pay that much as in the longer video. So me getting on live, that's like kind of balancing it out. And I'm like trying to add, not trying to add, but I will start adding like in between videos, so it's not just the second videos and then you got the hour long stream. So I want to add more in between. So, but people, I need to somehow get the people, all the people who are watching only the shorts. It seems like they got short attention span, so a long video is not like something that they're interested in. So, but I still need to figure out how to convert my subscribers to like at least coming to the live stream. Like if I got 16, I just made it to 16K subscribers today. So thank you guys for getting me there. But if I had 16,000 people in my live streams every night, that'd be dope. So, and I'm pretty sure I'd have been monetized. So as I grow, the goal is to get more and more people in my live stream. So I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, this is 90 days of like posting every single day, shorts, getting on live, like being consistent. So if I can do it, you can do it. Because I was procrastinating for years. So I finally got out of that. 2022 was the year for me to like step out of that uh, comfort zone that I was in. And I put that behind my back and just kept going forward. Like anything that didn't work for me in the past, I'm not holding on to that. Most people hold on to bad habits and they know it's not helping them at all on their journey. So, me understanding like we got a lot of bad habits just off the strength of being born on this fucking planet. My goal is to fix everything that's wrong with myself, help other people wake up to like, oh, you got bad habits too. So, because most people don't like to claim that. Most people don't like to say, yeah, I got bad habits. There's things I don't. I mean, people say that what they don't like about themselves. Most people don't even like themselves. Like I read somewhere today, and it says uh, everybody in the world will. No, what did it say? Every person in your life will leave one day. Like so, you have to be okay with being with the only person that'll be there forever, and that's yourself. So if you don't like being with yourself, then you got a problem. Me, I don't mind being with by myself every single day. I could be in my room, in my office, for hours, and like I'd be good. I don't need the outside. I don't need other people around. Like I'm good with just being alone. Like so, I find solitude and peace within that. I do a lot of meditating, do a lot of studying, like anything to do to uplift my mindset and just who I am as a person. So I've always been able to just be by myself though. Like most people don't like to be alone. I'm not that type. And even if they don't like to be alone, like they'll have to turn on the TV, have to listen to music. I could literally be in a room with silence and be good. So that's something I worked on as well. But like I said, I've always been able to be alone. Like that seemed like a gift for me. Like I never needed to be around other people to make me feel better about myself. Like, so that's we all got gifts. Tap into your own. Tap into your strengths. Whatever your weaknesses is, like work on those weaknesses. Like so, at first, speaking was one of my weaknesses, but I found out that's what I was the best thing I was good at as well. Like so, I started doing that more within the podcast, building my confidence up, just telling like my story, and telling who I was, giving game, and it evolved to like being on YouTube every single day. So it's working out so far. People are tuning in every single night. I really appreciate it. Didn't expect it to go the way it did. When I first told myself, hey, Ken, if we're going to be consistent on it, we're posting videos every day for 30 days first. See how it goes. I didn't think it was going to turn out to me doing this more like doing it every single day for 90 days straight. Like, so that's the dedication. Like, and knowing this is a marathon, so this is only the beginning. Like, I still got a long way to go, so I have to pace myself. So you probably won't see me on live every night for 3 hours, 2 hours, but an hour and a half, like sometimes. So, but you will see me because if I get on YouTube and watch somebody else's video, I have to post my own video. So or live, whatever it is. I gotta do it myself. If I'm gonna get somebody else paid on here, might as well get myself paid. You might as well too. A lot of people don't like the way they look on camera. Nobody does. Like so, get over that. Get over how you think you look. The world is not judging you off your looks. They're judging you off what you're talking about, what's on your mind. So everybody can build their own platform. You don't have to have 1,000,000 subscribers. You don't gotta have 100,000 subscribers. Like, but just find your audience, find your tribe, and cater to it, and do what you love to do in the process. Like me, I love reading books. I love listening to audio books. So it's nothing for me to do this every single day. For the rest of my life, I can read a book every single day and be happy with that. Because I'm knowing it's going to always expand my mind. It's going to always give me a new idea. Like, so, do what you love to do in life. And, like, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody's opinions deter you from what you want to accomplish in life. Because opinions is like assholes. Everybody got one. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Love you guys. Peace. We out.